You are listening to the Bravo Creative Podcast, hosted by Tom Baker. Thank you for listening. Your position has been triangulated. Drone army has been dispatched to your location. Commencing attack run in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the Bravo Creative Podcast, episode 10. Yay, I made it into double digits, and I'll give myself a pat on the back here later. But first, I want to thank you, my listeners, for your follows and your subscribes and likes and all the words of encouragement. And without you, none of this would be possible. Today's sponsor is Get Up Off Your Ass and Create Something. The great ideas aren't going to create themselves. So put down your phone, shut off everything. Just do it every now and again. And give yourself some time to marinate, clear your mind, and then create something. That's what I try to do. The Bravo Creative Podcast is being blasted out to your eardrums on Podbean, which is my weapon of choice, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and it's also located on the Bravo Creative website at www.bravocreative.net/Bravo Podcast. In the past couple of weeks of running and acting and filming and all that fun stuff that we like to do, I've run into a few of you that have given me some great feedback, and it's been awesome hearing about your thoughts of the podcast and talking about how my guests have inspired you. And it really warms my heart. And I just want to thank you again so much for just coming up and talking to me about it. It is a great, great feeling, and it helps me kind of keep on doing this because as I've gone through this creative process of making podcasts, it is harder than you think, and there's a lot of unknowns out there that are now known to me. And long story short, it's been great. If you like what you're hearing and you want to show me some love, please subscribe to the podcast, and it's how I judge my performance, and it's so very much appreciated. Today's guest is one of my favorite people. She has kept me in line and on track on a few projects that I've had the pleasure of working on. And it didn't take long to realize that her attention to detail and the tireless work ethic while on set is so very valuable. She has become a great resource and a great friend. She holds the record for the most mentions on the Bravo Creative Podcast. She's the talented, the beautiful, the Rain Man of the film set, Jamie Tallamantez. How are you doing? Oh, sorry. I left you muted.
How are you doing, Jamie? I really hope the Rain Man of production doesn't take off. I'm pretty fond of tortillas. So. Oh, man. Wow.
Is that where that came from, tortilla?
My last name on Facebook, it's fake.
Pull it a little closer to you.
My last name on Facebook is absolutely fake, and that has some stories. So the real reason is I developed a tortilla, like a corn allergy, over one random summer, and I couldn't have any corn. It actually ran into I couldn't have certain beers. I was only drinking German beers for a few months. But one of my friends made this semi-racist remark because I'm half Mexican, and he's like, Tallamantez, more like Tortilla-Montez. I was like, that's my Facebook name. And it has haunted me ever since. My senior thesis project, that film, my co-producer put that name on there because she wasn't thinking, and she had this other...
Because she just copy and pasted it off of Facebook,
yes,
probably.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so that has it on there, like my first film, and then first script too.
Is it on IMDb that way?
I don't know. I haven't messed with IMDb. I should probably do that because I know Damien put me up there.
Yeah, you're on there.
I worked on an HBO set for a day, and they put Tortilla-Montez in the credits.
Did they really?
Yeah. It's like, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, and I'll be honest with you. So, like, you and I met, was it 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago no, it was 2 years ago. We met on Vincent's Vow. There was one random day, Kong was gone and David Watson was gone. And so you and I were both kind of the alternates. We were the alternates to come in on that day. And we met that day, and I think I friended you, or you friended me afterwards. And I saw the last name on there, and I was like, that is a really weird last name.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, she doesn't look Mexican to me. I mean,
I am.
Are you really?
Sure, yeah, I'm half Mexican, half Mexican, half Irish. I think the Irish just kind of cuts it.
Mexican Irish. It's like two of my favorite things. I like Mexican food, and I love Ireland.
You love to drink.
I love to drink.
Oh God.
So,
Yep.
but we met on that show, and then we met, or we worked again with each other on. We were going to have another project, and that fell through. Right?
Which one was that?
That was the one that was going to be up in Jeff City.
Oh yeah, the homelessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to work on that, and then we had some script issues with that, and that got put to later on, and then COVID hit, and then it was all over with.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I wasn't really excited about that. You're like, it's gonna be in the dead of winter. We're shooting outside in the snow, and I was like,
that's right.
What is the rate?
Yeah.
What's the day rate on that?
It was the day rate was cheap. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's when you learn. That's one of those lessons, right? But then we worked on the buddy cop film together, and you were production of some sort. You were kind of scripty and slave driver.
I was
/
I started off as script supervisor,
Okay.
Which I didn't even know what a script supervisor really did at that point. I kind of had an idea, but Mike's always been very helpful. Mike Strain. He sent me a couple of YouTube links, and he was like, here, I really feel like you'd be good at this, and I want you on this film. And I got to set and was doing that, and there were some shot consolidation issues where Madison was trying to consolidate to save time, and I helped him through that. We helped each other through that. But the big thing that changed what I was on that set was Madison came up to me and he's like, "You're gonna hate me," and I'm like, "I'm on my way to lunch." Like, what do you have to tell me right now? And he was like, "I want to shoot the henchman scene out of order." And there's a scene where there's a bunch of henchmen, and I just looked at him and I was like, okay, if you're wanting to do that, the third time we roll, which henchman is where lying dead in the background? Yeah, and he was like, you could see his head just explode, and he was like, oh no. And I was like, well, looks like I'm having math for lunch. And so
no kidding.
I did henchman math. And I think the worst part about it was one of those, like, they put on Facebook, like, who wants to be a henchman? Come on down. And we thought we had like 19, and I finished all of the henchman math, and I was like, okay. And, this shot, this guy's going to be dead in the background, but this guy's still standing, but he moves over here.
And you're talking about continuity here, right?
Continuity between these takes, because he's wanting to shoot it out of order. But I get done with it, and Madison's like, actually, we have like 3 more henchmen than what I originally told you. And I was like, Madison. And so we kind of had to like fit them into, and that's how I think they put me as assistant director on that. Because they were like, you did so much more than what you were supposed to.
Well, and we didn't really shoot it out of order, did we?
We shot some of it out of order.
Because we did a continuous take on it.
I consolidated so many of those shots. And that's the thing is, Madison was so detailed in the shots that he was wanting, and I had to kind of just be like, look, these are technically kind of the same shot. And I know that you're trying to capture these different like reactions or whatnot, but you
Right.
can actually combine these 4 shots over here and these 5 shots over here can kind of be combined into a mid instead of a close up and a wide, you know? And so we kind of just consolidated, and we saved so much time by sitting there and doing that.
That was and it was a fast shoot considering how many shots we had
Oh yeah.
in that film.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shots in that film. And we were clicking. I mean, we were going through, but I mean, we had, I think most nights we filmed all night long though, didn't we? It was
Yeah.
about 5 or 6 in the morning when we get done.
God, I love working with them, but anything that I've ever worked with Mike Strain on, the weather has either been out of whack or we're blowing something up. So
yeah.
Either way, I know it's just going to be a ridiculous time. Like, he's so great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it was a fun shoot. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that I kind of had not, well, I had never done before. Like, shoulder mount cam, running around, chasing guys around with guns and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. By the way, Mike, I can't wait to see it. Madison, can't wait to see it. So you can send me a link and I can watch it. I know there's other people that have seen it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
And then we worked on, just recently, The Land of Milk and Honey, which wrapped in October.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it was forever ago
Yeah.
that we did it, but it actually wasn't. It was just recently. And you were basically script supervisor on that one, weren't you?
Yes.
And it was official. You were script supervisor on that one.
Yes.
And you were very valuable in that regard on multiple occasions with me because of all the stuff that was going around on set. First and foremost, it was like, okay, where was I holding that, or how was my arm on that? And it was nice to be able to go back to you and you would go, yeah, this, or you had taken all these little pictures on your phone.
Yeah.
And you would scan through there and you would show me. I was like, oh, okay. So that was a big help. And I think the thing that I didn't realize is that there's probably a reason why I'm not going back and doing any reshoots is because Jamie kept me in line on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And you were also good feedback too. I know, like for me, I have a hard time, like the transition from theater to film is you don't get like the claps or anything like that after you do a scene. And it was always nice because you would be over there and you go, that look good. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, thanks.
Or like the couple of times you were done and I was like crying.
I know. Well, there was the one time, I think it was the end of the day. It was kind of everything was over with. And we were I think we had wrapped. And you came up to me, can I have a hug, please?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
It was really rough to watch you go through that.
But yeah, it was that's where, from a filmmaker standpoint or a wannabe filmmaker standpoint, you start to see who the very, maybe not always considered the most valuable person on set, but who you look at as the most valuable person on set. And that's what I've come to realize is because when you know how utterly chaos riddled a set can be, especially an independent film set, your skill set and what you do is so stinking important, not only during filming, but after the fact too, because there's a lot that goes on. You keep track of a lot of stuff for post-production. Mm-hmm. And I know that you did for those two. Can you talk about like, how did your brain figure that out? Because
How do you script?
did you go to
how do you
school for
script?
that? Did you go to school for any of that?
That's the funny thing is we were just talking about all the different aspects of everything that I do. I went to school for everything, honestly. Like the electronic arts program at MSU encompasses all of production.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
So you went to school for that. So you're like books.
You like, no.
You know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. But I'm really good at faking it. No. I did go to school for production and learning every aspect of it. The organizational thing and the wanting to learn every aspect of production, that was my raising. Like my mom always taught me that any job I was on, I was to learn everything that I could because that helps you later. You know,
Sure.
If there's some random thing.
Good advice, Mom.
Yeah.
Real good advice.
Hi, Mom. But, yeah. And then also the organizational mind, like she raised me making lists. I am my mother's daughter. I make lists for everything and make sure that I'm kind of on my stuff so I get stuff done. And that's the thing is I'm always producing, always creating. I always have something going on. Like, I call my house like art house. Is you walk in and there's art projects everywhere, like notebooks, everything. So falling from audio engineering, which is what my primary focus was in school, into script supervisor and pre-pro, like was pretty easy for me to fall down that slope. Yeah.
Really? So, if you don't mind me asking, like, if you go back to like Jamie, like 18 years old, getting ready to go to college, is that accurate? Mm-hmm. Okay. What was your aspiration then?
To have a recording studio.
So you wanted to do
music.
You wanted to record music.
Yeah, I honestly, when I went into the EA program, I wanted to do music. That was the only way I could do recording arts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then filmmaking just scooped me up.
Really?
Yeah.
So now, did you know how to play guitar then, and you could compose music basically?
Singer, songwriter, guitar, keyboard, percussion, all of it. I can write music and read music.
Which did you learn first? Piano?
I mean, that's a iffy one because I was clunking around on piano for a while. I think yeah, you could say piano. Because
Were you ever trained in piano?
Marimba was like the first thing I learned. No. I mean, I took classes later on.
You are Rain Man.
I am. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I
mean, that's hard to do. I mean, that is really hard to do. That's like, my son can kind of do it, mm-hmm. which I've noticed that he kind of has a natural tendency, and he'll pick up something. He's been playing, Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes for, since November. Mm-hmm. And it's dun, 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 dun,
oh, yeah.
dun. And he got that thing stuck in his head.
And just figured it out.
And he just kept playing it. And now he plays it on everything.
I used to do that when I was younger with my electric guitar. Do you remember the Hives album? Is it Veni Vidi Vicious or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah. I learned that front to back. I would just rock out along with them the entire length of the album, and I'm sure it drove my family crazy. But like, I would just listen to songs off the radio and figure them out, and that's kind of how I learned guitar.
Are you a repeat listener, like where you will start right back over again and just keep cranking on it?
It was
and
the
cranking
same
on it
in choir. They did this thing in choir where I keep wanting to say professor, the teacher would play some kind of ditty and we would all have to sing it after he played it, like memorize
it. Yeah.
I was always the last person. And he would just like be like, okay, we're done. Like, I'm not going to keep doing this with you, kid. Like,
so did you take any music theory in college then?
Oh, I took music theory in high school. In junior high, I was one of the first co-conductor for
really?
like a student. Yeah. And that was from spite, which is a lot of what drives me. But I was making fun of, we had a sub one day, junior high.
Right.
And she was like, if you think you can do it better, get up here and do it. And I was like, okay. And I did it better. And she ate those words and then told my teacher. And I thought I was getting in trouble, but he was like, show me what you did. And I showed him, and he was like, I'm going to let you pick a few pieces and teach it to the choir and perform it as a conductor.
Really?
Yeah. Like, my music background is extensive and random and fun.
So do you play anywhere in Springfield? Do you do any gigs or anything like that?
Nah, I was in a band a long time ago. It was like a blues rock band, and that was fun. But yeah, no, I thought about it. I don't know. Like, I think it's one of
That
those.
just made me think of a song when you said that.
Yeah? What song?
I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news. She just smiled and turned away. Do you know that one? Mm-mm. American Pie, John McClane.
I know that song. It's weird hearing the lyrics spoken.
Spoken? Yeah.
Spoken word lyrics by Tom Baker. Like deep thoughts, but you're just
Right.
random lyrics. I don't know. I think it's just one of those, like, getting my confidence up to do it again.
Is it a confidence thing?
Kind of. It's also just like a
Or an annoyance?
blind bravery. Like, I honestly, before every show we would do back in the day, it was like I'd get really nervous and anxious up to the point that I was up there, and the second I'd start to sing, I'd be like, oh, this is fun, I'm good.
Right.
So it's just like creating a set list, and I think it's just not as fun when you're by yourself, though, too. Like,
Yeah, my brother plays, David Baker. He does a solo gig, and he's been doing it for a long time, and then he has a band that he plays with as well, and he's gotten to where it almost seems to me like it's not really a solo gig anymore. It's because the audience now has become that other band member. They're kind of like, hey, play this song, or, oh, I love it when you do that. They are a part of it now, and I would think that that's probably a cool part of the kind of the solo gig element, is that you still have that. It's more of a real conversation with your audience. Whereas if you're with a band, you're always like, hey, drink up, support your waitresses and your bartenders and blah, 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 But if it's just you playing songs, it kind of feels like it's more of a personal connection that you'd have with the audience. I don't know.
that was the hardest thing for me as a lead singer, was like, drink specials. Don't forget to, buy merch at the band before us and the band after us. And I would always, like, mid-sentence forget what band we were playing with. Like, my brain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, I hate public speaking, but I think a lot of people do.
So
Different.
what songs did you do?
We did, well, that's the other thing. I am a powerhouse when it comes to writing songs with other people. If I'm doing it by myself, it comes differently. But if I'm just like jamming out with other people and writing melodies and everything, I can spit them out. We were only together for 6 months, and we had a full-length album.
No kidding.
Like, yeah.
So it was all original stuff then? Really?
We did a couple of covers. We did Like a Prayer, which was kind of fun. And then we did...
Oh, Madonna.
Yeah. Pumped Up Kicks. What's another one? Every now and then I'll hear these songs on the radio, and I'm like, I know this song so well. And then it kicks into gear, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we sang that. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I do miss it. I just don't know if I want to do it again by myself. Andy Havens, he's been hitting me up for a jam session. I think he wants to actually perform at some point together, which would be cool.
Yeah, that would be. I want to eventually, I'd like to be in a country band, but guys that sing like the old country, because I love old, like, country western music.
Yeah.
And there's no market for it. So I think I'm in good shape. I don't think I'll ever get in a band. I don't think I'll ever, because nobody does old country music anymore, I don't think.
There's kind of a band. So I live next to this place called Gatherin' Joe's, and I used to pass by it all the time.
Gathering Joe's?
Gatherin' Joe's. And every time I'd pass by it, I'm like, that looks like it's either a really nasty dive bar and smells like wet cigarettes, or they serve a
My kind of
mean
place.
catfish plate. Yeah, and it's the second one. They serve some really awesome food. They make their own ranch. Oh my God. I'm not getting paid for this, I promise you. But I think it's Monday nights, they do like live music, and it was like all of these older dudes just playing old country, and it was
Really?
a great time. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. Do you know Dallas Jones? He plays in town. He's amazing. He's so amazing. I love all of his music so much, and there's some funny stories there too, but I'm not going to go into it right now. But anyways, I messaged him and I was like, have you heard of these guys? Because they're actually really good. And he's like, they are legends. Like,
Really?
yeah, I guess a couple of the guys are semi-famous for Springfield or something. I don't know. I haven't fully looked
They're
into
not
it.
like with the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, are they?
Maybe. I don't know. But
If they
I don't
are,
remember.
I'm totally there. What's the name of that place again?
Gatherin' Joe's.
Gathering Joe's.
Yeah.
Are they still operating now?
Yeah. During COVID, I had them do curbside. And the lady was like, you just want French fries, ranch, and sweet tea. I was like, yes. Their ranch is stupid good. They make it
Really?
in-house.
And that's
So I just
one of my
needed-
favorite things too is the
Yeah.
homemade ranch in these little like kind of dive places. And I absolutely hate going to some of those restaurants and they go, you got ranch dressing, and then they bring out the little craft like blister pack or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, never mind. Just
Yeah.
bring me something else.
This is good. And I just needed a carrier for my ranch. So just French fries. I'm fine with that. That's my dinner. Leave me alone. And their sweet tea's also like the best in town. I love
I'll
that
have to
place.
go there now.
I know. It's such
We'll
a
put a
hole in
link.
the wall.
We'll put a link there. They probably don't have a website, do they?
I think they only have a Facebook.
Well, we'll post their Facebook out there. And Gathering Joe's, I am so there if you guys are doing country and western, because I absolutely, and the reason why, my grandpa was, I remember, he would listen to the Farm Report on AM radio back when I was a kid. And I remember he used to sit there and he would just hum along to Merle Haggard and all those guys. And it's kind of like that guilty pleasure that I have
Love
of
it.
listening to old country western music. So yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
It's good.
So you are not playing anywhere yet, but
No.
it's a possibility in the future.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'll be there if you do. So let me know. So now let's go back. What would you say are your influences as far as music, early influences as far as music?
Oh God. Carole King,
Okay.
Bonnie Raitt. Early influences. Dang.
Now, were these influences that were kind of also your mom or your dad's influence as well too?
Yeah, this is mom's influence was Carole King, Bonnie Raitt, Phil Collins. Yeah, and then my brother was super into punk, and so I was listening
Okay.
to a lot of like Bad Religion, NoFX, Offspring, and then
And see, I don't even consider Offspring punk. I consider them
know.
all. I guess they're alternative now, aren't they?
I
Well, no,
guess.
they're classic rock now, which is weird.
oh my God,
Exactly. I saw them in concert too.
nice, very nice. Yeah, and then I also went through a Cure phase. I was listening to
yeah.
a lot of the Cure. I feel safe, so I can admit that.
But it was when you were considerably older and you were listening to it because it was old, or was
no,
it?
we're talking preteen.
Oh, so you were preteen
I was
listening to
very-
Cure. Okay.
Very moody, angsty teen. But yeah, and then I'd say now I really love Brandi Carlile so much.
I'm not sure who that is.
She's great. Jillian Welch is good. What else do I listen to? Andrew McMahon. Anything he touches is gold, songwriting wise. Jack's Mannequin. Even back in the day, something corporate. Yeah.
That was all like garble to me. I don't
Yeah.
even know any of those people.
That's cool.
I'll have to look up some of those.
It's okay. You don't have to.
Well, it's like my wife has,
My wife.
was it Sarah Bareilles?
Barry Ellis.
Is it Barry Ellis? Bareilles, whatever.
I don't know. She's great though.
My wife and my daughter, they love her. That's, that's like that's their jam. I'm still listening to Led Zeppelin,
Yes.
Little Feat, the Eagles. I'm kind of stuck in the 70s, so
That's okay. Those are good.
you
I
okay?
found out that my earrings were like jabbing the
Digging
back of
into
my
your
head.
flesh.
Yeah, because of the headphones. I found out recently that I know a lot of Led Zeppelin songs. It was before COVID at my favorite bar, Skinny Slim's, and it was like someone kept playing Led Zeppelin, and I was like, I know this song. Who is this? And they're like, it's Led Zeppelin. And then the next song would play, and I'm like, I know this song. Who is this? And they're like, it's Led Zeppelin. Stop asking. It's like, how do I know so many of these? They're all great.
Yeah, I got into a Led Zeppelin kick when I was probably 14 or 15 years old. I got into Led Zeppelin, and I was in that kick for at least 6 or 7 years. And I mean, I listened to everything. I memorized all their songs.
Nice.
Got a really good falsetto.
You could do a
from
cover band.
Yeah. If I could sing those falsettos still. Now I sound more like,
Let's hear it.
no, it's bad. It sounds good in my head. Mm-hmm. My falsetto sounds good in my head, but my wife has informed me that it doesn't sound good to the rest of the world. So I've kind of
just let it out.
Yeah. That's why I want to go back to singing country, because it's in that range for my voice that I really don't have to try. Like, I can just go sing it, and it doesn't really stretch me too far either way. I still have really good control over it.
It's your lazy fallback.
It's my lazy fallback. That's
Perfect.
exactly what it is. Okay, well, let's switch gears just for a second, because I want to see. So you're very well versed in music. Pardon the pun.
Oh, God. I didn't
But
catch it.
so how did you get from all of that into like working in film?
Okay, so with EA, at the end of this competitive degree program where they're throwing you into different group projects really rapid
And EA
fire.
is the Electronic Arts
Yeah.
like degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the end of the year, you have to make a pitch of a project that you'd like to create. And there's only like 4 or 5 projects that come out of the degree program, and it's group projects. So someone's idea is not going to get picked, but everybody has to pitch something. And I was really upset that they wouldn't let me do any kind of like songwriting stuff. Like I was there to do recording arts. And so I was kind of getting a little angsty about it because I was like, this is stupid. Why am I just doing audio for all these film things? And so out of spite, I wrote this musical piece, and I can give you a sample of it and you can throw it in there. But it was this Disney-esque skit that I thought would be cute for theater. And it was called Don't Be an Apple. And it's basically don't be an arse.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wrote it about just being a better human being. And I wrote it for kids and puppets to be singing. And I had recorded it, but it was just like me singing over myself. So it was like harmonizing with me. It was a little creepy to hear, but it was my pitch. And I gave the skit too. And fully didn't expect anybody to jump on it. And I was just going to jump on my buddy that was doing this like live sessions. It was called Queen City Sessions. And it was like all live music. So I was like kind of hoping it would tank and I could jump on his. But then after that, everybody is just left to their own to pick a side, kind of. And so like everybody's teaming up for dodgeball. And I get the only 2 animators in class who are high priority to everybody doing a film idea, because there are a lot of like atmospheric indie film ideas that were amazing, and you need an animator for that. But my POS little Disney, like out of spite theatrical puppet children thing, I got both animators and they were like, we want to work on this. We don't know how, but we want to work on this. And I was like, oh no, because like that means I have to write more, because it's supposed to be longer than just your pitch, you know? So I'm like, oh God, I have to write more episodes and everything. Well, one of the animators jumped on a video game idea after we'd kind of already started and established. So now it was just me and Gates. And so it's like 2 chicks, just like girl power, but also like, what are we doing? It's just you and me now, you know? And so we made it into a film, and she really reeled in my scripts, because I was all over the place. I had political stuff in there. I had all kinds of jabs, like low-key jabs at things. And she would be like, that's, I like where you're going with this, but reel it in, you know? But yeah, the power of a phone call, let me tell you, the power of a phone call for pre-production can get you, because it got us, the like ginormous bus barn that was empty, and we got to shoot on a bus that they were still working on.
Oh, wow.
So because the bus barn was empty and we had all that space, we were able to wrap a green screen around the outside of the bus in a climate controlled atmosphere.
Oh.
Yeah. And shoot on that. I was able, because it was just me and Gates was like, I don't want to touch any of like your stuff. And I know you don't want to touch any of my stuff, because like animation, audio, 2 different worlds, you know? So I got like full creative liberty. So I was able to write these songs in the script and record them all myself and bring like friends and stuff in. Like one of the funny things was I brought in a guy that I was bartending with at the time. He just has this great voice. Like, I just wanted him to voice one of the puppets. I was like, your voice is a blue furry puppet in my mind, you know? And I brought him in for that. And then we went to have him sing the songs that he was supposed to sing. And he couldn't sing it, like couldn't carry that tune. And I was like, oh no, like this is a buddy of mine. And I am going to have to be like, friend, hey bro, love ya. But I think I'm going to bring someone else in to sing this, which cued the really hysterical, I brought Stevie Victory in to like operatic style sing his part. So it was like so outlandishly crazy of a switch up,
right,
and unexpected that you don't even really realize it's not the same person. It's so stupid.
Well, they do it all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So lots of fun on that. Lots of really working on that creative relationship, because Gates and I, we just worked really well together. And it was one of those, like, if she was having a bad day, I was there to help. You know, if I was having a bad day, she was there to help. And we just carried each other through that whole thing. Like, I can't thank her enough for going through that with me. Like, oh my God.
And so you have a copy of that out there that people can watch?
Yeah, if you search Together Nation MSU, I think it's on MSU's YouTube.
I'll have you send me a link so we can post that out there.
Yeah, it's kind of adorable. So that's what it's like when I write.
Now, so you did that,
mm-hmm.
and then you got out of college,
mm-hmm.
and then you got back into film.
Yeah.
Or you got roped into it. Which one?
I got a call from my buddy Ben, and he was like...
And this is Ben Morris, right?
Yeah,
I remember Ben Morris when he was just a little guy.
He was a baby?
Yeah.
Baby Ben.
Yeah.
Ben was like, can I come over? I need to talk. And it was funny because I had this same conversation literally a couple weeks earlier with another guy from school that was like, I need help writing this album. And we wrote a couple of songs together. It was kind of fun. But Ben did the same thing to me where we're sitting at my kitchen table with a couple of beers and he's like, I need your help. Like, I have now become the person that gets shit done. And he was like, everything that I try to produce, it never gets finished because of someone not carrying it. And he was like, I just need help getting one thing for my resume, one thing for my portfolio. And he was like, I've got these 2 scripts. I want you to read through them and tell me like which one you'd like to produce with me. And will you please just like help me produce this and like be my partner in crime? And I was like, absolutely. Because Ben's writing, oh man, his humor is so like, I can't even describe it. He's just such a great writer. But I read through his scripts and both were equally hysterical and would have been great. But the first one, there was a scene, it was a lot of the film was a group of like 18, 19 people around a kitchen table. And I was just thinking about doing the sound for that. And I just wanted to off myself. And I was like, let's do this other thing. So I did Kaiba the Kid with Ben over the summer. Pulled in everybody. I made costumes. Like I did wardrobe.
So you can sew?
I can sew. I can do a lot of random things. It's like, what do you need? You know? So I did that.
You're not like Amish or anything, are you?
No, I had depression as a kid and I stayed in a lot.
Yay for depression when you're a kid. You'll like, learn all kinds of things.
You know so many things. That's so fantastic. I'm like, I was inside a lot. No. No, I just like to learn a lot. But anyways, I was doing costuming. I was helping with getting the cast together and the crew together. We got the Studio 2060 boys on it. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, Mike and Madison, they were doing props.
Now, when was this filmed?
Effects. 2018, I think.
Okay.
Over the summer.
Okay.
It's been a long time coming, and we are almost done with it, and it's just been a lot of back and forth. Ben had moved to New York, and that made doing the notes back and forth a little
tedious.
Hard. Yeah, very tedious, and like... We were going really back and forth on a lot of small audio things because he had finished his edit, his picture lock, and then it was time for me to get the audio done, working on the audio and stuff. And there's a lot of spaces where he was like, I can't hear the footsteps here. And I'm in my home studio. I'm like, those footsteps are loud enough. Like if I turn those up anymore, it's going to be like comically loud and throw it off. And come to find out he was listening to it on like headphones. Like just like earbud headphones, and I was like, no. Like,
right.
Level with me, bro.
You need to put some like studio monitors in.
Yeah. And then like he decided to change picture lock when I was almost done with the special effects sounds, and I was like, don't do that. and then I was like, you know what, just it's fine. It's your film. Like we've come this far. I want you to be happy with it. Like do it. We'll just figure it out. And it was just like he tried to save the time codes of where he had chopped, and it just didn't work out that way in Pro Tools, man. Like it did not work out that way. And so I had to re-edit, and it was a lengthy edit. I also lined up all of the dialogue by sight and sound. I didn't. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So you had to mark the film clip, and then you had to mark the audio clip at the right time, and then line them up that way.
Yes.
That is tedious.
But thanks to Together Nation and working with puppets and voice acting and ADR, I am pretty darn good at it. Like right. I brought Jed in to do some.
You can fudge a little bit in there too, can't you?
With puppets, definitely.
Yeah.
But like I brought Jed in to do some ADR, and
Jedediah
Nichols. He does Canted Angle Media.
Yeah.
But he was our lead actor in Kaiba the Kid. And I brought him in to do some ADR and just drag and dropped his vocals into place and played it. And the look on his face when he realized that I just dragged and dropped it perfectly in there without actually like zooming in or anything. He was like, "What? You just did that?" And I was like, "I know." Thanks to being the puppet show lady.
I mean, after a while, you can, I mean, watching audio forms is, I actually, of the things that I deal with audio, that's one of the things I love. I mean, editing podcasts, I actually like editing podcasts. I love the audio form. I love watching it. I love, you can tell when someone's going to go in there because it's going to spike and cut it out. I love messing with audio in that regard. The capturing of it is the thing I'm not so happy with because there is an ear that you have to have, and you have to like know what dial you're turning. Gain is not volume, right?
Thank you. I was like, what is he about to say about gain?
Yeah. That's the big lie, I was like, oh, turn the gain up. No, don't turn the gain up.
Don't do that.
What's interesting about Ben, in which we didn't know that we both knew Ben, but I've known Ben since he was a little guy, and his mom and I have done quite a few shows together, and then his dad and I have done quite a few shows together. So that was, I grew up. They were in Jefferson City with me, and we did all kinds of little theater and all these little plays and musicals and whatnot together. It was fun.
Actually, I met him through a friend's short film that never got done. Another thing that Ben worked on that never got finished. We will finish Kaiba. It's almost done, I swear. But
it's only been 2 years. Well,
I know.
Yeah, it's only been 2 years. We're in 2021 now.
Oh God. But I followed him with a boom, and he had his like little handheld on
gimbal?
that. It was like a little gimbal. And then he had to do this thing for the theater at MSU, and I helped him with that. That was hell for audio. Like that project, that was when I was still in school too, because I was editing that in Craig Hall, just like wanting to just scream. But it was like multiple actors. It was a full walkthrough, and then the edit, everyone was saying a different word in the line of the script. It was like, "Hi, hello, welcome to blah, blah, blah." And like, it was a different person. And like just editing all of that audio. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. But yeah, so that's how I met Ben.
And like, don't do that anymore. Like, that's been done.
God. Yeah.
And it is a pain in the butt to edit.
Oh my God. But yeah, so
so you did that film, and it's almost done.
Almost done. I just have 2 lines of dialogue and then a sweep of the mix, and we're good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then ended up in St. Louis for a month with Ben, and we worked on a few productions and did a lot of editing video while I was up there.
What do you edit in?
That was in Premiere, but now that I'm back here, I've been editing in Filmora. It's like
really?
A cheap knockoff version of Premiere.
Yeah.
And it does pretty good, and I like the little effects that they have in there that you could just throw in. But not really editing video right now.
Yeah.
That's more of just like fun little things for
I
me
haven't
to do.
edited a video in like a month.
Oh God.
I feel a little, I haven't shot hardly anything in a month, and it feels a little odd. I need to just get out and shoot something.
You should do stuff to the audio clip I sent you. Are you not vibing with it? I can make a new one.
Well, no, I'm vibing with that, but I want to have some bugs, and there's no bugs out right now.
Yeah, I could do something
And
more
now
icy.
that I have a new house with my own field, I can just sit out. And I think you had talked about, it was bugs on it, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it's got some weird noises in there. It'd be cool to see bugs with it.
But I have a blind now. So I could sit out in the
nice.
woods with my blind, and I can get some really cool like animal stuff. So that one I like that one, but so what's happened is I did a little short film. It was at the beginning of COVID. I did one.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a little shamrock that was a clover that was going down the water. And Jamie saw it, and then she wrote something.
Nope.
No, it was
I had put out for an anxiety buster. I had taken the ambient sound from one of our shoots for Kaiba the Kid with Ben. I got us Hootentown, not Hootentown. I got us able to shoot at Wilson's Creek Battlefield. I had to fill out paperwork. It was a whole ordeal.
That's right.
But I got some really pretty bird sounds.
Yeah.
And so I did that and then just kind of played on the piano just kind of peacefully. I didn't use a click track, and I know how some people feel about that, but I was just
I have no idea what that is.
Just like a metronome.
Oh, gotcha.
So you can go back and make your edits easier and all of that. But I just wanted a vibe, just a natural vibe. And so I just vibed out, and it ended up being really peaceful. And I posted it on Facebook. And then you were like, hey, can I use this?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I did that one. What was it called?
It's like all the flowers and stuff.
Oh, Bellus perennis is what it's called. Yeah. And so I did that. I was shooting with my anamorphic lenses, and I sat out. I was out actually back behind here. They had let all the black-eyed Susans grow and all this kind of stuff, and I just sat out here for I think my wife thought I was crazy or something, because I'm gonna go sit out behind the office for the sun to set. And so I sat out there for 5 days and just recorded bugs and flowers and all kinds of stuff. It is the weirdest thing, but is when my son makes fun of me because he's like, you're like this kind of dude's dude dad, and you sitting around and shooting video of flowers. And I'm like,
that makes me a dude's dude.
I like flowers. I like the wind. I like bumblebees. I like bugs. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and I thought about what got me to thinking about it. If I had time to film right now, I'd like to go out and do some of because we got tons of ice right now, and that's just beautiful. But I mean, you could do a whole entire 5-minute video with some really cool drip type music or cracking of ice music or stuff. So
after a ridiculous New Year's Eve party, drunk Jamie, whom there are huge parts of New Year's that I do not remember at all. And they were telling me about it. And I'm like, that's pretty funny. I don't remember that. We took a group photo, and I'm in this photo, and I do not remember that photo. But what I do remember is my boyfriend took me home, and we're in the parking lot, and I was like, stop. And he's like, what? I'm sure he'd had enough of me at that point. And I'm like, listen to the trees. I was like, you could recreate this with plastic packing tape for Foley. Because it was this weird, sticky, crackling, wet sound.
It's good to know.
Yeah. I was like, I want to practice the sound with tape. And he was like, let's go inside and get you to bed.
You're scaring me.
It is freezing out here.
Your next project. What is that?
Project.
Do you got anything in the hopper?
The hopper. I do have a script that I've been working on. It's one of those can't stop touching it, can't stop revising it, and it's the same with I've got an album.
I just talked to Brittany Greer, and she said the exact same thing.
Really?
Yes.
That's great.
Yep.
It's that creative mind where it's you're just always wanting to make something better, or
it's called George Lucas.
Yeah. We're George Lucasing. That's weird.
It is.
I won't say that again. But yeah, so that's something that I've been revising because it's what do I want it to mean to me and to the viewer? And once you really get that deep into storylines and the actual, it's where am I going with this for real? What am I doing with your mind?
Have you figured out the pitch for it yet?
I mean, I can try and pitch it, but it's really not. I don't want it to be anything that's like in your face amazing. It's not atmospheric or beautiful. It's
You just want to tell a story, though, right?
Yeah, it's literally just the storyline of this girl and all of the past relationships, and as she's like unpacking them now that she's learned what she's learned. But it's kind of got the same vibe as like High Fidelity.
Okay.
Very
great movie.
Yeah, just very laid back, lots of flashbacks, and you're just kind of hanging out with her for a day and listening to her process.
So if you had a movie star that would want to do it, who would you have play the lead actress in it?
Oh man, I don't know. Ellen Page.
Ellen Page. Oh, sorry.
No?
She's a guy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Transitioning?
Yeah, it's
him.
Elliot. Elliot
real?
Page.
Elliot?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
man.
happened like,
I can't keep up.
I think this happened like a month ago. So you have to pick
good
another
for
one.
him. Let's see. B team. No. Oh man. Michael Cera. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was bad. I don't know, man. I'll have to think about that. But honestly, it's been one of those.
Can she be British?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't want her to be like. This is the thing: is I want her character to be more realistic. Like, it's one of those. I want it to unfold like a rom-com would, where like you're kind of hoping for the good outcome, but I want it to be as realistic as possible, but not in a way that breaks your heart completely. You know what I mean?
Like you don't want to throw any stuff, throw stuff in like The Notebook just to make you cry.
Yeah.
You want it to be
like
realistic.
I want her to have her mental breakdowns and also, F up things, but also like be that person that you're really rooting for and that person that you're associating with. Is
this like based off of life experience for you?
A lot of it is, yeah. And I was going back and forth with my script with Ray, and he was like
Ray
Roberson.
We'll call it.
Sorry, Ray.
Roberson.
Ray.
Yeah, Ray.
But
we worked with him on Buddy Cop film.
Yeah.
And he's in Atlanta right now, right?
Yeah, he just got a puppy. With
Did
his
he really?
Girlfriend. Yeah, that's so cute.
Sucker.
He's got his little family. But no, I was going back and forth with the scripts with him. I don't know why. Like, I think it's just him and my like communicating style is similar, and it was just really easy to bounce ideas off of him, and he gives really great feedback and constructive criticism, and in a way that I can absorb.
Right. Which is important.
It is, especially when it's your baby, and a lot of it was from personal experience, but it was changed for the character, to fit into the story. Because I feel like we all kind of go through similar experiences differently, or we go through life differently but have similar experiences. That sounds weird. But honestly,
we all do. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, we all go through life differently because, well, we're not all the same. Mm-hmm. We all didn't have the same beginning, and everything that would hit us all differently. I mean, it's all where you're going to sit down and take notes about it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to, sit and cry about it maybe, or whatever. We all just kind of different the way we deal with it. I think it's great though.
Yeah. And so I just wanted this deeply flawed female lead character going through things and having these viewpoints that are kind of not really the status quo for filmmaking. Like, a lot of the women that you see in media adhere to a specific social construct, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. They're all skinny. They're all gorgeous. They wake up with makeup on.
I don't hate it. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
It shows a lack of creativity, and it doesn't really show any kind of like, if you were to put like, I don't want to call a woman ugly, but let's just say this. Let's say you had a woman that wasn't necessarily on the outside the most pleasing person to look at. Mm-hmm. Is that is not how we make films anymore.
Yeah.
We try to ugly people up, right? And then we put them out there and go, this is realistic.
Yeah, and it sets a lot of failed expectations, and I think adds to the mental instability of the U.S. right now. Like, I feel like...
Well, yeah, but not only that, but it's just, I mean, if we're looking at it for what it is, it's just lazy storytelling. And it's lazy, it's lazy all the way around. It just it fails to look at what people are really like, you know?
And it hurts people. Like, it just mentally, just image issues and all of the disorders that come from seeing a perfect life being played out, or a perfect person living an imperfect life. Like, oh, she's clumsy, but she's gorgeous, you know, like that's her quirk. That's her struggle, is she's clumsy.
Right.
Like, oh God, I want that to break, and I agree
with you. I think
why I'm writing it.
I think there is, and especially with female characters nowadays, they have this, it's kind of like that interview question. You remember that interview question that you used to get, and they would go, what is your strength and what is your weakness? And you go, well, my strength is my weakness, and my weakness is my strength. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
That isn't real. And if you're in an interview and you hear somebody say it, you go, okay, thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Because our weaknesses are real weaknesses. I mean, if we really, really, truly have a weakness. And I think that is to me, that's the interesting part of characters, and interesting part. I mean, you know, it's the interesting part of art in general, is just the reality and how that person overcomes it and gets through it.
Yeah.
And for real, not just for the sake of, but for real, you know?
And like, I also made, the way I wrote it is you're just kind of loving the storyline and these guys that she's talking about and her life and who she is. And then I hit you with the dark. And when Ray was reading it, like, he was kind of upset about it. He was like, I can't believe you did that to me. You didn't even warn me. And I was like, well, think about the character. Like, she had no warning either.
Right.
And he was like, this is really good. But then he brought to realization, like, where does she work? Like, you gave no backstory. You just have all of these stories, you know, amalgamated. But the fact that it got him.
No, that's good. And that
Sorry, Ray.
and I think that makes you feel good too. It means that you are kind of over the target on things, and that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted that connection with the character, to where when the bad stuff happens, you're going through it with her, and then you come out in a healthy way at the end, you know? And I just want that moment of just a healthy storyline where at the end it's like everything's okay. It's not like a wedding at the end. Oh my God, she's getting married to the man of her dreams.
Well,
and
you know, that is what's, it would be interesting to see how you can navigate that, because, you know, the reality of it is just like, all right, so when I was 21 years old, I made bad choices.
Let's hear him. No.
Right.
This is a safe place.
It is. It would be a very long night.
One.
Yeah. Number one. But I made a lot of bad choices I've made bad choices my whole life, but I made an exceptional amount of bad choices from the age of probably like 19 to the age of like 26, 27 years old. Like, made some really stupid decisions in life. But because I made those stupid decisions in life and I reaped the benefits of the pain that comes from those bad decisions, I was able to make good decisions later on, but it still wasn't a happy ending at 27. But if I was writing a movie, it would be like, here's all the bad decisions that you made. And then, okay, you're at 27. It's still not a happy ending, but you've at least realized something, about yourself or whatever. And that's what I hate about a lot of movies nowadays is like they set it up like, oh, everything's rosy, everything's fine,
Then
blah,
it's
blah, 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 blah.
perfect.
And that's not.
It's capitalism. If you just get to that one thing, your life is going to be great.
I don't know if it's capitalism. I think it is.
It's the wedding industry.
I think it is the idea.
It's traveling. It's buying a home. It's owning a business. It's capitalism. Sorry.
Well, the alternative's not much better. Yeah. So it's just the idea is that we are literally, it doesn't necessarily all go away. There is still things that we have to deal with even after all of it. And the Hollywood ending should go away. Mm-hmm. But in essence, the Hollywood ending is there because of capitalism.
Yeah.
Because they have to sell tickets.
It's true. This is true. And that's where it's like, I'm working on this and it's just something for me right now. And it's a really great process to get that out of yourself, to purge your demons. Purge your demons in a script.
It is therapeutic.
Yeah.
It really is.
So I've been purging my demons, and you can look for it in theaters. No, no, I don't know. If I make it, I also wrote the script to be very easily shot. And this is the organizational aspect of me. I have pre-pro already done within the script as I'm writing it. I showed Joe Stearns, and he was like, "You've got camera angles and you have..."
I totally want to read this.
I know. I've got everything in there. I even have sound cues. I have all of it. But it's only a few locations. It could be shot in 3 days, 3 or 4 days with my organizational bomb there.
How much do you think it costs to do it?
Not a lot. It just depends. I've got 3 mainish characters, a slew of really, I think would be fun to cast the guys,
Oh yeah.
relationships, and a couple of background, but
Can I be dead body number 3?
Dead body number 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be probably one of the people working in the shops that she's in during a couple of her conversations with her friend.
Oh, can I be one of the country western singers in the bar?
Oh, yeah. Actually, there is a bar scene at the very end of the film. There's a bar scene. That would be hysterical.
And you could write a country western song and it would be totally like...
I'm not going to write it, though. I'm just going to have you drunk as a skunk up there holding a glass of whiskey
and just
mumbling.
Just
mumbling along with the music, drooling on the mic in the background. But nothing will draw attention to it. Like, it's literally just going to be in the background. It's not going to be at the forefront at all.
I've got tons of pearl snaps. I'm totally there right now.
It's big of you to admit that.
So that is your next big project.
Yeah. It's one of those that's so far away, but
you know what?
A hope. It's a hope.
If all of this opens up a little bit more, there's going to be tons of people that want to work on stuff.
Yeah.
Strike while the iron's hot, Jamie.
Yep. Yeah, so that and
that's cool.
More reachable, I think, is my music stuff. So it's almost done.
So are you like recording an album then?
Yeah, I've been thinking though, because I've got it, but I've been thinking maybe I might just release them individually randomly. but by way of trying to go like the viral route, like post it with something really stupid on YouTube or post it with some kind of dance on TikTok and see if it takes off at all, and then slowly release them one at a time. But that's something in the back of my mind that I kind of just want to play with just to see what we can do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
There's plenty of us that can help you with that viralness of things.
Yeah.
There's tons of virus stuff going around right now.
I know. Viruses are really hot right now. They're really in.
Viruses is totally in right now. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, Jamie, it's been awesome having you on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jamie, thank you so much for coming into the studio, and I'm glad to finally have you on the show. And good luck with all your various creative endeavors, and I'll definitely have you back on the show so we can talk more about some of those upcoming projects. If you, my listening audience, have a project that you would like to talk about or are interested in being a guest on the Bravo Creative Podcast, well, I'd love to have you on. But I've got a little bit of a list going. Actually, it's getting pretty big. But if you have a project, time is of essence. You have a deadline. You want to be able to promote it, and you want to come in and talk about it, drop me a message or give me a call. My phone number is 417-402-8382, or you can drop me a message on the Bravo Creative Facebook page, and we can see what we can do for you. And I'm all about promoting and encouraging all of those local projects, and also just like to talk. I have been blessed with the gift of gab. So thank you all for listening. I love you bunches.
You have been listening to the Bravo Creative Podcast. Analysis of your biometrics have been compiled and calculated. You are now a minuscule part of the collective. Enjoy the rest of your pitiful day.